Hi everybody, in this morning video from City Insider, I will bring the latest Manchester City update. We'll start with Man City. PSG set sights on Leicester wonder kid. Paris Saint-Germain have never been afraid to sign promising young teenage talent. Xavi Simons and Shend come to mind. As a result, the capital club appear ready to head to that well again, but face competition. Under sporting advisor Luis Campos, the Parisians are targeting young talent and, if it's possible, French. The Ligue 1 side are steering clear of big-name stars as they look to build a team with manager Luis Enrique instead of relying on individual skills. A new report reveals that the capital club could be looking to add an English player to their youth system and be a gem in their academy. Fitches reported on Sunday that Manchester City and PSG have set their sights on 15-year-old winger Jeremy Monga, who plays for Leicester City's under-18 team. Nonetheless, the report claims that the Foxes are unwilling to let their promising player go so soon. The young winger has impressed with his dribbling, explosive speed, and knack for assisting and scoring goals. Despite his age, his maturity and technical ability on the pitch have made him a standout player in Leicester's youth ranks, catching the eye of several top-tier clubs. Man City set to complete deal for Abdukodir Khusanov in next 48 hours. Manchester City are set to complete the signing of Lens defender Abdukodir Khusanov, according to Fabrizio Romano. The transfer expert shared on X that the Premier League champions will look to seal the deal within the next 48 hours. Sky Sports reported on the 11th of January that an agreement between the clubs has been reached at £33.5 million plus bonuses. The player is not in Lens matchday squad for today's game against Le Havre, and he is all set to undergo his medical, which will be followed by signing the documents. Romano wrote on X, Manchester City have now planned medical, contract signing and formal steps in terms of documents to sign for Khusanov deal. It will be all sealed in 24-48h. Here we go. Confirmed. The Uzbekistan international centre-back is set to sign a 4.5-year deal with Man City. The Premier League giants will have the option to extend his deal for another year until 2030. The 20-year-old is seen as a terrific young player, and City have wasted no time in getting his signature as Pep Guardiola wants to add depth and quality to the side. City are also looking to bring Omar Marmoush to the club this month. The Egyptian has agreed in principle a move to City from Eintracht Frankfurt. Pending an agreement between the clubs, the German club are demanding a fee of around £67 million, and Romano has suggested that an official bid is expected soon. Meanwhile, City are still looking to make more additions to the side, and they are negotiating with Palmeiras over a deal for Vita Race. Palmeiras are hopeful of getting a fee in the region of £33.5 million to £40 million for the talented 18-year-old centre-back. Guardiola admitted on Saturday that Kyle Walker has asked to leave the club this month. Serie A giants AC Milan are interested in signing him and will hear their proposal. There is also an interest in him from Saudi Pro League club since last summer. Real Madrid opens door for Man City target. Aurelien Tchouameni has had a mixed bag of a season thus far at Real Madrid. After having struggled to impose himself in his natural habitat in midfield, the Frenchman has looked better playing at centre-back in recent matches. However, his unconvincing displays in midfield earlier in the season have done enough to create doubts over his future at the Santiago Bernabeu. Furthermore, as reported earlier, Premier League champions Manchester City have shown an interest in signing Tchouameni in the near future. Now, building on that, Defensa Central reports that Real Madrid president Florentino Perez would be open to sanctioning Tchouameni's sale to Manchester City if the midfielder himself asks to leave. We don't want to close the door to anyone. If he wants to leave, we'll negotiate, Perez is believed to have said internally when addressing the possibility of selling Tchouameni, following the reports of Man City's interest. As mentioned earlier, after a somewhat inconsistent start to the season, the Frenchman has begun to regain his form. Despite this, speculation about his future persists, with not only Man City, but also Liverpool credited with an interest in him. Real Madrid paid an initial fee of €80 million to sign Tchouameni from AS Monaco, and the Merengues are confident that they could recoup this amount or even surpass it in a potential sale. However, Perez's comments suggest that any decision will depend on the player's own wishes. Tchouameni has again been named alongside Antonio Rudiger in central defense, as Real Madrid take on Barcelona tonight in the Spanish Super Cup final. As for his future, it appears that Los Blancos will not stand in the way of an exit if the player indeed does seek to leave amid interest from Manchester City. Man City now submit offer to sign Vita Race. Pep Guardiola is tasked with rebuilding the Man City defense, with it recently being revealed that captain Kyle Walker wants to leave the club, having been left out of the squad for the 8-0 demolition of Salford City. The Sky Blues are particularly keen on a new centre-back, having a £33.5 million bid accepted for Lens' Abdukodir Khusanov, and the deal is now nearing completion. Guardiola is keen to make multiple additions this month, with progress being made for Frankfurt forward Omar Marmoush, whereas Palmeira's defensive gem Vita Race is another key target. City's opening bid for Race was knocked back by the Brazilian club, but they remain undeterred, with journalist Ben Jacobs revealing they are optimistic about being able to get a deal over the line. As such, Man City have taken immediate action to try and get a deal done, with journalist Andre Hernan taking to X to provide an update on the transfer pursuit, saying, "I heard from a negotiation source who says this was just a first offer and that it will increase in the coming days." The journalist states the Sky Blues' initial offer for the defender was considered too low, but they are willing to make an offer of €40 million to get a deal over the line. Palmeiras are said to be in no rush to finalise the move, indicating that a deal may not be possible until later in the January transfer window. 19-year-old is already making a name for himself in his home country, having made 18 appearances in the Brazilian Serie A this season, and his defensive talents have been on show for all to see. Over the past year, the Brazilian has averaged 1.87 tackles per 90, placing him in the 81st percentile compared to his positional peers, while an average of 3.08 aerials 1 per 90 ranks him in the 82nd percentile. Of course, given that he is still a teenager, it may take time for Race to get to a level where he's capable of being a consistent starter for Guardiola's side, but there are signs that he could soon be ready to make the step up. Members of the Brazilian media have lauded the starlet as a monster, while journalist Bence Boxak has hailed him for his passing ability, which could make him a perfect fit in a Guardiola system. £34 million is a lot to spend on a teenager, but Race is showing signs he could be capable of going right to the very top. And that's the end of today's video. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss daily update from my channel.